Alright, good morning gardening friends. I hope you can see me. This morning I have a busy day. I have 7 classes today and I thought I've been really looking at my seedlings and wanting to transplant some and show some things that I'm using for recycled up potting. So I hope you join me for this little video. Hang out with me. This is fun. Alright, so these are some of the things that I'm using that are recycled. These huge cotton candy cups, I need to put holes in the bottom of these. I haven't done that yet. These would be great for a pepper or tomato. Those are huge. And then I have some smaller ones. I know these are terrible, you guys. At least they're Annie's, right? Our microwave actually broke though, and I haven't gotten a new one, so won't be getting these. But anyway, poked holes in the bottom of those. I have 3 of those. So that is better than what these are in. So I can't leave them in those. And then the bottom of a plastic bottle. I already have holes in this one. And this, I like to use this for like little microgreens. Grow them, or I grow cat grass for my cat. And then another water bottle. I already have holes in that. And yogurt, of course. I already have holes in that. Some string in there. And then for microgreens, I like to do something like this, but I'm actually going to use this to hold the new little seedlings. And I have some I'm going to give to a friend, so I'm going to put them all in here so that they can just be given all together and kept together. So I have some of these that did not sprout, so I'll be using those for some of my little ones. So let's get to it. Oh, and the soil that I'm using, so it's half Fox Farm new potting soil and then half like old potting soil from my pots, as well as dirt from my garden, and like I try to mix it all together. And it's been sitting out, so it's also got some life in it. It's got some leaves and compost, and I did see a little worm in there. I don't know what that is. See, yeah, so we won't be putting that in there, but that's what I'm using. So let's get to potting. It's kind of weird to film this. I've never filmed myself potting before. So we're gonna start with one of these. Get a nice little scoop in there. I decided to do this inside because you don't really want to, it's been sunny and warm during the day, and if you bring your little seedlings out in a warm, hot 70-degree day after they've been inside and they haven't had that will shock them, especially if you're transplanting them. So here's a nice little home for something. Let's see, let's start with orange bell pepper. You want it to just kind of come out without hurting the bottom. Here we go, it's coming out. Ah, it's crumbling. I think I should water it before. Oh, okay, there it is. And just gentle as possible. They're pretty hardy, but still I try to be super gentle with the roots and with the top. And there we go. Hopefully you could see that. Now it's got a little more room, and I'll give it a little water. If I'm using tap water, I like to let it set out and air out, because that lets some of the chlorine out. They put chlorine in your water. Alright, so I'll water it. I'm actually going to water it fairly decent the first time. See if it comes out through my holes. And just to show you how many holes, this one has 3, 4. Alright, so that one's ready. I need to make sure to mark these as what they are. I was going to throw these knives away the other day and I decided to use them for markers. They're cute. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do a tomato next. They're starting to get their true leaves, their first set of true leaves right there. And I just feel terrible for them being in that. So let's put one in this. So relaxing to me. And I feel really thankful just to have soil. Man, that smells good too. And seeds. Okay, so I'm trying to show this but not make a huge mess. I'm trying to get that bottom one. I'm squeezing the bottom of the cell. Here we go. Ah. Okay. You're gonna make a mess no matter what. Alright, and then I just put a little space. Gently rub it in. It's crazy that this little seedling is going to be this huge tomato. These are brandywine. Big tomato. Never grown these, but this is going to be exciting. I love trying out new tomatoes, see what we like. I always have plenty to give away, so that's always a good feeling. Although last year we couldn't give away as much because we just weren't going anywhere and nobody was coming by. So look forward to sharing more. Okay, so that's that buddy. Look how cute he looks in the kiwi. I'll give him some water. I don't know why this one's a boy. Brandywine sounds like a boy. So I'm gonna give that a pretty good water the first time so that the roots are reaching down for water. I think that's a mistake a lot of people make with their seedlings. Like when you're first starting them, you want to keep the top of it moist so that the seed will germinate. Well, when you are, once it's germinated and it's growing, you want to promote those roots to grow down and reach down for water. Otherwise, you're going to have roots that stay really shallow if they're reaching the wrong way for water. So make sure you water thoroughly, but don't overwater because you don't want it setting in water. And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make too. It's starting to drip out, so I've done enough watering. But you don't want to drown them. Those roots also need to breathe. So I may have overwatered this one for now, but I can kind of see because it's clear. It's not super soaked over there. Ooh, but it is dripping, so you've got to have if you're using recycled materials, they have to be drippy. So, my idea for this, it goes right in there to hold it. So just some more thoughts about the potting mix. Just plain potting mix is too airy. So when I use it if I use that for plants that are not just starting, it's not good. It doesn't hold the water. So that's why I mix up my soil with my potting soil, because some of it is nice and heavy and some of it's nice and light, and you just blend it together. So this is a huge one. I'm gonna put a tomato in here. Oh, there's a worm. That's what I'm talking about. This soil is alive. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna put this worm back in there. All right, should we do a pepper here or a tomato? I think we'll do a tomato. We'll do another one of these. It's amazing that this tiny little stem is going to be a big tomato. So look at all that room for that tomato. It's awesome. Still not ideal, but I feel so bad for plants and tiny little things all root bound. All right, well, I've gotten a fair amount of stuff done, and this was really nice. So here's one of the little setups, some jalapenos and some tomatoes in here. And I did want to share that some of these peat pots got like a little bit of mold growing on them. That's because I had them in that tray and my thought was to bottom water them, you know, because of what I talked about. But I think I had they were too close. So now I have them a little more spread out in there so I can still bottom water them. But I'm going to watch out for that in here, not overwater, because I don't want mold growing. But I did a lot, and I wanted to tell you about this yarrow. I actually have this growing outside, and we got, where's my thermometer? We got -10, no, I'm sorry, -12 Celsius. We got 10 degrees in our cold, and this yarrow, I have one outside. It's in a slightly bigger pot, and it is just fine. It's great, and it's a perennial, so it should be fine, but it was a small plant, so I didn't know that it would make it through all that cold. So I haven't grown it to flower yet, but I'm really excited. It's a perennial flower, and I'm taking them out of these pots because these dry up so fast. Like I said, not only this potting soil, but the peat pots, not for long term. So I'm going to pot these up into something a little bigger, and then I have some daisies and a few things, but the rest of them are in pretty big pots. So I'll show you what I got. And I also brought in just a couple bigger pots from my greenhouse, and I'm going to put a tomato and maybe a pepper in one of those. I'm wishing I had more pots. I could just make some really quick if I wanted, but some of these I'll probably pot up again, so we'll see. I'll let you know. Thank you so much for potting with me. All right, so just show you what I got done. I'm doing a little experiment. I've got some potatoes. I've got some tomatoes that are in a bigger pot. So here's the biggest tomato pot, and here's the other bigger tomato pot. And then we're gonna see how those do compared to the one in that pot, and then we have some in the peat pots. But the best, I think, is just looking at all these little recycled containers. They're so cute.